Okay, just like always, I gotta double check that that my audio is coming through and everything. At some point I will get better at this, I think. But we will see. This may just be a lifelong journey for me. Oh, no, that totally worked. All right, amazing. Well, welcome everybody to the next exciting edition of Learning How to Play Bridge. Happy bridging, learn and play. Today we are going to be talking about opening leads. So we're going to be trying to get through this at sort of a high level. I will be walking through examples as I go, but feel free to drop some questions in the chat as I go. I will try to answer them as I can. So, without further ado, let's start doing it. So, our agenda for today, we are going to be talking about first defensive high-level strategies, and then we're going to talk about leads versus suits, leads versus no trump. Then finally, we're going to talk about incorporating the auction into our lead decision, and then we're going to take some questions at the end. So, first and foremost, defensive strategies, how to think while we are defending. So, a couple of things. First of all of the strategies that you use when you are declaring are going to apply when you are defending. This is what's really nice about sharpening up those declarer skills is because they translate so well into defending. The only difference is that now you can't see what cards your partner has. So you have a couple of different thoughts that you have to go through, and you're kind of taking a safety play a lot of the time. You are hoping that partner has this or hoping that partner has that, and you're going to be relying a lot on signals. So, some of the ideas that we want to think about are establishing a long suit. We want to either establish our own long suit or partners. This is especially prevalent against no trump contracts. We want to make sure that we are getting our suit set up and set up fast. We want to be able to take those tricks and force our opponents to have to discard things and cry as we take all the tricks. Another thing we want to think about are finesses. We want to think about leading through strength, leading into weakness. If we have a holding like King Jack 7, if we were declaring, we would be like, we would love to take a finesse through that hand. We would not want to lead the 7 from King Jack 7. But in defending, sometimes people think to themselves like, oh, I just have honors in this suit, I should just lead low. But you don't necessarily want to do that. You want to think about it just like you were declaring. If you were declaring, would you want to lead out of your hand in this suit unless you knew partner had safety over there? No, of course not. You would not want to lead that suit. You would just choose to play something different and hope that your partner was able to play that card up to you or that suit up to you. You want them to lead King Jack, the suit that is like hearts. Let's say it's King Jack 7 of hearts. You want your partner to be leading hearts back to you through the declarer so that you are able to take those tricks. Another thing we want to think about is just like when we are declaring, we want to be establishing ruffing potential. So if we have a singleton, if we have a void, if we have a small doubleton, we want to think about discarding losers, getting rid of those little tricks that we don't need, and being able to set up the potential to rough in and take tricks with our trump cards. So we want to do this early on in the hand before our opponents have had a chance to draw trump. So now that we've talked a little bit about some of these high-level strategies and these govern why we decide to lead what we do, let's talk about our leads versus suits. So we want to think we are getting in quick. We know that those tricks, they are disappearing, and we want to make sure that we do not lose them. We want to make sure that we establish our suits, establish our trick-taking potential, and we want to make sure that we are taking those tricks early, because our opponents are going to be discarding their losers, getting rid of their little cards. So we know that our opponents are going to be eliminating losers and drawing trumps, so we want to get our winners established early. So here's an example. We have a singleton. So if we have a singleton, we are playing in a 4-heart contract here, as we can see. Looking at this west hand, we have this beautiful singleton 9 of diamonds. Another great thing about this hand is that we also have the ace of hearts. So even if our partner does not have the ace of diamonds here, we know that we will be able to regain control with the ace of hearts and then hopefully be able to lead another card to our partner. So on this hand, we probably want to lead the 9 of diamonds. Now, unfortunately, this whole hand, it's not going to work out for us. Our partner doesn't have the ace of diamonds, so it's not going to really gain anything there. But they also don't have a secondary entry. But if instead they maybe had the ace of clubs or the ace of spades, we have a couple of different ways that we could try to get to partner's hand. Now, the second one is if partner has a bid a suit, we want to help them establish that suit. We want to lead their suit. And so here is an example where our partner has opened 1 diamond. Our opponent overcalled a spade, they bid hearts, they bid clubs, and now they ended up in 5 clubs. Now we have a really good club holding. We would love to be able to get 1 or 2 tricks out of this in addition to maybe 1 or 2 tricks from partner's hand. We probably should have doubled this contract, but that's okay. Our partner opened a diamond. We know that they have diamond length, and we have diamond length as well. So we probably just want to lead a diamond here. If nothing else, it's because our opponents have bid all of the other suits. But we'll talk a bit more about thinking about the auction later on. So here, our partner has bid diamonds. We probably want to lead a diamond. So I would probably lead the 10 of diamonds here. And here's what the full hand looks like. It looks like we get the ace of clubs, the ace of hearts. And if we can really get rid of our opponent's clubs, maybe we can get some diamonds here. But the diamond isn't really going to take anything away from us. Our opponents were always going to be able to play the ace of diamonds and then another diamond. So one thing we could end up doing is we could end up playing a whole bunch of diamonds and forcing them to lose control of the hand because we have ace jack third of clubs. If we force them to ruff a few times, they may not have enough control to be able to take control again. The next thing we want to think about is if we have an honor combination, we usually want to lead the top of 2 touching honors. So if we have an honor combination, we want to lead the top of those 2. So looking at this one here, our opponents are playing in 2 spades. We have the ace king of clubs. So that's probably going to be our best lead. If nothing else, it just is because we don't know what other suit to lead. We don't know if our partner likes hearts or diamonds better, so we can lead the ace of clubs to find out what is in the dummy. So we lead the ace of clubs, we get to see, oh, look at this, the diamonds are bad, the hearts are good, so we would switch to a diamond, and we're going to hit partner's ace, king, queen. So that is looking mighty fine for us. But starting with that ace of clubs, if it helps us establish that suit, and it also just gives us a chance to take a look at the dummy. Now, this one's a little bit sneaky, but so we are playing in 3 hearts here. East has bid 3 hearts, and we want to think to ourselves, do we have one of those honor combinations? And so initially, it doesn't quite look like it. We don't have a king queen or an ace king or a queen jack. We don't have any of those, but we do have this sneaky internal, yeah, interior. I just had a brain fart. I'm sorry. We had a sneaky interior sequence here. We have queen 10 9, so we are just missing the jack. So when you have one of these broken sequences, you want to lead the top of the 2 touching honors that you have. So queen 10 9, you lead the 10. If you had king jack 10, you would lead the jack. If you had king queen 10, you would lead the king. So you lead the top of the 2 touching honors. So here, how would that work out? Well, our partner has the ace, and they have the jack here in the dummy. So they have a couple of concerns here, but if it goes 10, small, and partner lets it run, small, East will win with the king, fine, but now our ace queen are going to take care of the rest of those diamonds. We'll actually end up getting 4 tricks, or 3 tricks. If instead West covers with the jack, 10, jack, ace, now partner can return another diamond, and we can knock out that king and set up our diamonds again. Now, it's a little bit different over a no trump contract. You are not in as much of a rush to get those tricks set up as soon as possible. Those losers are going to be much tougher for the opponents to get rid of. They're going to have to establish a long suit, probably just losing a trick and letting us take control for a little bit. So instead of just doing that, we want to think for our side, establishing a long suit is going to be our first priority. So if we lead partner's suit, this is a really good initial option. So in this hand, we know that partner has at least 5 spades because they overcalled 1 spade. Even though we have 5 clubs, they're 5 crappy clubs, and there's not a lot of reason for us to be leading that. Instead, we would probably like to lead partner suit, lead the jack of spades. We know we have at least 7 spades between the two of us. We may even have more, depending on partner's hand. So we can lead the jack of spades, and that'll just set us off on the right direction, especially because partner made that vulnerable overcall. So here, we lead the jack of spades. Partner doesn't have the best spade holding, but they have a lot of control in the hand. They've got a lot of 10s and 9s and these aces here. So they'll probably be able to get on lead a couple of times, and we can just keep pushing spades until those get set up. So it's only going to be 2 times that we have to lose spades in order to set those up. So we would probably be thinking we want to set up our suit, and partner's suit is going to be the best initial option. Here's another example. In this one, North opens a club and East overcalls a heart. So our lovely partner has overcalled a heart. So looking at this hand, sure, we could lead a spade. That is definitely an option. We have Jack 10, 9. But we know that our partner has a good heart suit and we didn't raise them. So we probably want to lead their suit here. Now, which card do we lead from this? If you're leading from 2, you generally want to lead the top. But if you're leading from 3 or more, you want to lead low. And this is up to partnership agreement. I would just lead the 7 here. So by doing that, we'll actually end up setting up this suit. So hopefully partner is able to read it and they're able to play the 10. That's kind of tough for them. But even if they don't, and they play the queen, look at our spades here. We're going to be able to set up those spades as well. The only concern is that our opponents are going to be able to take these tricks right away. They're going to be able to take those clubs and diamonds right away. So the spade might have worked out a little bit better, but if nothing else, we are setting up our hearts. Now, on that same train of thought, if we have a 3-card honor combination, this gives us control, and this helps us set up our long suits. So with a suit like this, we have Queen, Jack, 10, 9 of spades. So we know we can lose the lead here twice, and then we'll still have the 10 and the 9 to take out any remaining spades that we need to, and then our 5 should turn into a trick. So we know that by leading that queen, especially if partner has an honor in this suit, we are going to be looking mighty fine here. So as it turns out, partner actually has the king of spades, and so we're able to start working on those spades right away. We force them to play that ace early on, and now the rest of our spades are going to end up setting up. So if you have 3 or more cards or 3 or more honors touching against a no trump contract, you can lead the top of those 3 honors. Now you can also do it with a 3-card broken sequence like we did against the suit contract as well. But here we don't really want to lead the top of 2 touching honors because it doesn't give us enough control. And we would much rather have partner pushing to our 2 honors versus us leading the top of 3 honors. We would much rather have partner leading towards us when we are trying to set up a suit that has only 2 honors in it. So here's another hand. In this one, our partner bid a spade. They doubled, and we bid 3 hearts, showing some sort of weak hand with hearts. Partner bid 3 spades, and then our opponents bid 3 no trump. Wow. So what we want to be thinking here is what suit do we want to lead? And this one's kind of tough. This one might be a little bit more. We want to think about the auction. Partner probably has a better holding than we do, so we could lead partner suit. We could lead the 8 from 8-4 here. Or if we wanted to try to set up our own suit, we could lead the 10 from this broken sequence. We have queen, 10, 9, 8, 7. So we can lead the 10. We don't want to lead the queen because that implies to our partner that we have the jack. So if we lead the 10, this tells partner that we have the 9 and that we may have something higher. So here we can see that North has that king. If we lead the 10 and knock out the ace there, we may actually be able to get back on lead with a diamond or with a spade or with a club. This hand looks very vulnerable. So we'll be able to get back on lead and then be able to take all of our heart tricks right away. Leading the spade is actually a little bit less effective here, but that's kind of 50-50. We're not 100% sure. Here's another example. So here, we're actually thinking about leading 4th best from our longest and strongest suit. So if we can't lead partner suit and we don't have one of those 3-card honor combinations, we want to think about leading 4th best from our longest and strongest suit. Now, what suit would that be here? Well, we have diamonds or we have clubs. These are 2 4-card suits that we have. Now, which one's longer? Probably those diamonds. So, or which one's stronger is our diamonds. So we probably want to lead the 2 here from queen, jack, 4th. Now, what ends up happening with that? We would end up being able to set up our diamonds. So we have to lose the lead twice. But at some point, we'll be able to set up those diamonds because partner has really strong spades. So we'll be able to get 2 diamonds and 3 spades and hopefully a club as well. Here's another example. We want to lead 4th best. So we could lead 4th best here. But if we are feeling particularly unsure about leading 4th best with this kind of a holding, one other option you can consider is leading low from one of your 3-card holdings, or high, depending on what your agreements are. I would probably just be leading low here. But you can lead low from one of these 3-card suits because you don't want to give anything away. Maybe this club suit doesn't feel like the best suit to be leading away from right now. Maybe you don't want to lead away from king 3rd. And so instead, you just want to kind of make a passive lead. You want to just softly lead and then find out more information and save your ace for later. So if we elected to do that on this hand and played a spade or a heart, it's kind of a guess which one to do, but depending on which one you were feeling in the moment, you could end up really doing a lot of favors for your side. So here, whether we let a heart or a spade, we are actually working on setting something up for our side. The diamonds may have worked out a little bit better, but it's kind of 50-50 who has that queen and the ace, right? So we don't really know if it's going to be getting set up very quickly for us, and it also helps them set up their diamonds. So I think that probably leading one of our 3-card suits here may have worked out a little bit better. Now, this is what that last example was referring to, but if it looks like a vulnerable holding, we may want to lead low from 3 small, trying not to give up any tricks to the declarer. So now that we've gotten a general idea for how to lead against no trump and how to lead against suits, we also want to think about what the best players do. And they do not just look at their hand and think about what the contract is. They don't just go, well, you know, my spades are the best suit that I have, so I'm going to lead a spade. We actually want to use clues from the auction. So let's look at a few examples here. So here, we have a bit of an interesting situation. Our opponent opened 1 club. They responded 1 spade and rebid 1 no trump. Over this, they used an artificial 2 diamond bid. This is asking for more information about the hand. South says that they do have 3 spades. And North says, okay, well, that's fine. I'm balanced. I have invitational values, and South accepts. So what do we know about South's hand? What do we know about North's hand? Well, in South's hand, we know that they have 3 clubs. We know that they're probably longer in clubs than in diamonds. We know that they have 3 spades exactly. If they had 4, they would have raised their partner. We know that they're balanced. We know that they have 12 to 14 high card points, but they accepted the invite, so they probably have 14. So we know that they have, what, 3... They have 3 spades, maybe 3 hearts. They might have bid 2 hearts instead of 2 spades, depending on their agreements with their partner. But some people will prioritize showing the lower one first. So if they had 4 hearts, they probably would have bid 2 hearts. So it may be 3, 3, 3, 4. They may also be... I think that's the only one that they can be at this point. 3, 2, 4, 4. If they were 3, 2, 4, 4, then they would have opened a diamond instead. So we're pretty confident that they are 3, 3, 3, 4 with 3 spades, 3 hearts, 3 diamonds, and 4 clubs. Because a lot of the other hands, they would end up opening 1 diamond. So we know that they have 4 clubs. We also know that they don't have 4 hearts. Seems like North might have 4 hearts. If they had 5 spades, they probably would have raised spades here as opposed to just bidding 2 no trump. So we're thinking that they probably have, I don't know, 4 spades and 4 hearts and 2 diamonds and 3 clubs, or 3 diamonds and 2 clubs. So 4, 4, 2, 3. That's probably what we're expecting here. We know that South has maybe 3 hearts. We're trying to think what's the best lead to make here. And you know what? It may actually be a diamond. So our options are between probably a heart and a diamond. We know that North-South have at least 7 cards in spades. We know that they have probably 7 cards in hearts. And we know that they don't have a lot of diamonds. So we might lead the ace of diamonds and find out some more information here. Now here, that would actually work out quite well because we would get to find out that North has decided to be a little cheeky. And even though they decided not to raise their partner, not to bid 2, or not to raise them to 3 spades, and instead bid 2 no trump, now we get to find out about that before we have to make any rash decisions. So by starting with the ace of diamonds here, even though normally we would want 3 honors to be able to lead the top of an honor sequence, the ace of diamonds lets us find out what's in the dummy and figure out, oh, you know what? Maybe we should be working on hearts instead. So it does cut down on a tempo for us, but our partner is holding down strong for us with the queen of diamonds. So we're not actually behind at all. So if we lead the ace of diamonds and then switch to a heart, it looks like we are going to be in a pretty good position for this hand. Unfortunately, they will be able to get 9 tricks just right off the bat, but if they had a little bit of a worse hand, we might have actually been able to take them down. All right, this one, our lovely opponents bid up to 6 hearts. And boy, do we have an awkward hand. We have King 4th, Stiff Jack, 10-9, 4th, and Jack 4th. So, what on earth are we supposed to do here? Well, they bid 1 diamond, and then West made a strong jump shift to 2 hearts. So they're showing long hearts and a strong hand. East bids 2 spades. This is natural, showing spades. North bids 4, or West bids 4 clubs. This is showing shortness in clubs. And then East bids 6 hearts. So, interesting situation. West has shown shortness in clubs, though. Now, that could be a singleton, or it could be a void. We don't know which one it is. But looking at my hand, the diamonds doesn't look too promising. We know that East has diamonds. Spades, again, not that promising. We have King 4th here, and East has the spades. So they're going to be the one who has like the ace and the queen. And thinking back to the very beginning when we were talking about the finesse potential, we don't want to give them free finesses like that. We want to make them suffer through it. And even though it still puts them up to a guess right away, if they do have the queen, now it makes it a little bit easier for them because they just have to make the decision right now. So I'm thinking that we probably want to lead a club here. And that's because we are worried that they'll be able to use their diamonds or their spades to be able to get rid of the one club that they might have over there. So I would lead a club here, and hopefully that would work out. As it turns out, that is the only lead to hold them to just making. If you lead anything else, they end up making an over trick. So this is how we save some match points. Woo! All right, and then hand 4. This one's a little tricky. So here we had a 1 diamond opening by West and a 1 spade response by East. We're expecting 4 spades from East for this bid. West rebids 2 hearts. Now this is a reverse, so this is showing extra values. They're probably showing 5 diamonds and 4 hearts. This is at a minimum. They also probably have 16, 17, 18 high card points depending on their shape. So they have some values over here, and they have 4 hearts and 5 diamonds. This is what we're expecting. East rebids 2 spades. They probably have 5 spades or 6 spades. They are overriding their partner. And West now finally shows support for spades. Since East could just have 5 spades here, West only has to have 3. So we know that West has 3 spades, 4 hearts, 5 diamonds, and 1 club. Or they have 3 spades, 4 hearts, 6 diamonds, and no clubs. It is one of those 2 hand types. So we know that without looking at any of the hands. So this is going to be another situation where we could be thinking, all right, do we want to lead from this club holding? We have a possible suit to set up. Our partner has lengthened clubs. We know that West is short in clubs, and maybe they have a singleton, and maybe we're concerned about them getting rid of it. But where exactly is it going to go? It's not going to go under spades because that's the trump suit. It's not going to go under hearts because they have 4 hearts in the West hand. And it's not going to go under diamonds because they have 5 or 6 diamonds in the West hand. So the club isn't really going anywhere at this point. So there's no reason for us to be in a rush to get rid of it. Instead, we want to be thinking, maybe they're going to actually use those trump cards to get rid of some of their club losers. So maybe East doesn't have very good clubs either. Maybe they have like 3 little clubs, for example. We know that they have a lot of spades and we don't know much else about their hand. We know that they don't have 4 hearts. We know that they don't have like 3 diamonds, but they might have 3 diamonds because they would prefer to play in spades if they have 5 or 6 spades. So they might also have those 3 little clubs. And if that's the case, well, we don't want them to be roughing here, do we? We want them to have to lose those club tricks to us. So with this hand, what we can do is we can do something a little bit sneaky, and we can lead a trump card. So what ends up happening here is by leading a trump card, we start cutting down on their roughing potential. Now, West doesn't actually have a very good hand. They have kind of trash diamonds. Those hearts are going to be a bit of work to set up as well. And they have a lot of clubs in the East hand. So this is actually going to be one of those situations where leading a trump card is going to slow them down immensely. And so this is why it's really important to look at the auction and think about all the information that you have. It's not just the fact that West has a singleton club, it's the fact that they don't have anywhere to put it. So these are some of the examples of what you should be thinking about when you are trying to make your opening lead. So I think that is all that I have for today. I am going to pull this little thing back up, and see if I can put up my other thing. But I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who stopped by today and learned a little bit of bridge. If anybody has any lingering questions, I am happy to stick around and answer them. Otherwise, I hope you all have a fabulous rest of your day. I just want to pull up my little thing here. Here's this one, and there's that.